My name is Amy Baxley, and I have been at Christ Community Church for over 4 years. I grew up in Anoka, Minnesota. I graduated there, went to college at the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse. Currently, I'm living in Rochester as a stay-at-home mom. When I was in college, I learned more on how to share my faith with people, and as I was growing and learning how to talk about Jesus with people, I realized that actually a lot of people have a lot of questions and they like to talk about these things. They just don't know who to talk to them with, or maybe they're afraid to start the conversation. So loving my neighbor, I read a book a while ago called The Art of Neighboring. And in the book, one of the things that the author said was, in trying to love everyone a little bit, like Jesus says, love your neighbor as yourself, in trying to love everyone a little bit, like those little niceties or the kindnesses, we actually don't really love anyone at all. And so he proposed in his book, like, what if we took it literally? What if we literally loved our neighbors and the people who live in the houses that literally surround our house? And I thought that was very interesting. So we started there, applying loving our neighbor physically to loving our neighbors, and intentionally getting to know the 5 or 7 houses that directly touch our house. And for us, that, it looks different sometimes. Mostly my kids like to color them pictures and then go knock on their door and deliver it. We've done notes of encouragement to our neighbors. We've done roses on Valentine's Day, or exchanging books that I think a neighbor might enjoy. We've hosted a national neighbor night out event and invited them over in our yard for a picnic. Honestly, it's just bridging that gap and like getting to know them. For me, loving your neighbor is just being intentional with the people that are directly in your life. I'm surprised at how much of that has been because of my kids, to be honest. The relationships they have, and then their parents, and then even our neighbors. We live in a community with older retired people, and they just love seeing the little kids color them pictures and bring them over. So yeah, it's kind of started there, and it's grown to become friendships. Ideally, you want to love everyone, and you want it to be a really great experience and they know Jesus. That doesn't happen sometimes, but you're still there. You're still their friend, you're still their confidant, and you still are, their neighbor. I think God calls us to love our neighbors just because we don't know what He's doing. We know that He's working in their life, but we don't know how or when. And so His plan all along would be that He would transform us, and then that we would be then His hands and feet into the world. That He would use broken, messed up people to bring His perfect gospel to other broken, messed up people. It sounds really awesome. Like, it makes me sound like I'm a really intentional person and that I love my neighbor all the time. And I really don't. I mean, I have my own messy baggage and, messy life. And really, most of the time, I feel like that little kid that had the 2 fish and the 5 loaves, and I'm just like, I don't know what you can do with this, but here you go. And Jesus is just like, awesome. Like, watch what I can do with this. And you'd be amazed. Like, I don't know what each person's 2 fish and 5 loaves are, but when we bring that to the Lord, He multiplies it. And all we can do is bring our mess and ask Him to use us in the way that He wants to.